Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you all the books that I have around my apartment just because I talk about books so much, and I'm trying to get rid of stuff from our apartment, but books are the one thing that I really can't get rid of and I have too much of. So I just wanted to show you where I keep all my books. I definitely am slightly out of control compared to probably most people. So let's go. I'll show you the books around my apartment. I have my little Smash the Patriarchy decoration that my best friend made me, which is awesome. But yeah, I just have to use my table, my dining room table, for my desk, which is right here. I have this little shelf with all my school stuff, some nice pictures to keep me happy, a lamp for when it gets dark, and then here are the books. As you can see, I actually have already cheated, and that really big shelf on the bottom is not school books. Those are all actually just books by women. So I kind of took out the books by women that I haven't read yet for this year's reading challenge that I challenged myself to do. So these are some of those books. And then above those books, I do have school books. So these are books that are either reference books, like you can see the thesaurus and the dictionary of word origins on the right. There's some writing guides. Those are those little thin guys right there. And then there's a book about a library that my dad got me when he was in Oxford. These books, almost all of them are books that I've rented from the school library for projects that I'm working on, for my thesis research and stuff like that. And then I have a little pile of bookmarks there for starting new books. Over here in the other corner of this little dining area, I have a couple other books, and this is actually just because I ran out of room in the rest of the apartment. So on this little lamp thing, which I got from Walmart for 20 bucks, I keep some other books. So these two books are travel books, The 36 Hours by the New York Times. If you like travel, you probably know about those, and they're cool reference books that, probably get dated because they're travel books and things change, but they're fun to look through. And here are books that I think I'm gonna read soon, which is why I kind of have them out here, those top two books I know that I'm going to read when I go to Seattle at the end of this month. And yeah, some, On Writing Well, that was for a writing class I'm taking, and then some other books by women that I want to read soon. Making our way into the bedroom. Actually, right away I have a book here because I'm packing for a one-night camping trip I'm going to on another island this weekend, and I thought I'd probably bring this book, so I just kind of put it over there. Over here is my nightstand, and these are the books that I would say kind of currently reading. It's not totally true. Some of these books I'm in the middle of, Get Sponsored and Parallel Worlds and The Complete Stories and the Yoga Sutras. I've been reading those for a long time because they're slow going, so I just read a little bit at a time. But these other ones are just books that I think I'll read soon, so I kind of like to have them near me because I read usually before going to sleep. And then I actually even have more books in this little messy drawer. These are books that you just read a page a day. So I read one of these every night if I can remember, then I read one of these every night if I can remember. This one's about Buddhism by Pema Chodron. She's really good. And this one's just about perspective. And then I also usually like to keep a book of just kind of randomness that you don't get pulled into. So I have Rumi poetry because you're not going to get pulled in by plot and stay awake. But it's kind of nice, and also his poetry is kind of dreamlike, so I like to read it. Here on the kitchen counter are the books I'm returning to the library. There's usually some books to go back to the library, and then I do have a couple little coffee table books. Just this little stack I really like here. Oh, I should put this down and open up the books to show you guys because I think these are all actually really cool, which is why I have them out. This top book, it's this tiny little Wanderlust book. My friend and I have kind of given this back and forth between us for a couple years, actually since we were in middle school, and they're just cool, random photography, travel type stuff. It's really tiny and kind of a beat up book, but it has sentimental value for me because we've been sharing that book for a long time. I just got this book recently, The Short Story of Art, which I think is really awesome. It's kind of like a textbook almost. It has all these different styles and artists and techniques and periods, and you can just kind of flip through. I wouldn't really read it from cover to cover, which is why I have it out here. You might just sit down and randomly look something up or just open to a page and see. And then I found this really awesome book, also kind of like a reference book that you wouldn't read through all the way, when I was volunteering at the Friends of the Public Library bookstore. It was $2, and it's so awesome. It has all these plants and animals, also just kind of fun to flip through. And then this last book on the bottom was a dream encyclopedia, and I don't really know what I think about analyzing dreams, I kind of go back and forth between thinking that it's worthwhile and not, but still kind of cool to just be able to like sit down and be like, oh, I had, you know, this dream the other day or the other night. Hopefully you're sleeping at night. You can just look it up. It's kind of cool. So that's my little coffee table stack. You're probably wondering by now, where are the actual bookshelves? And yes, I do have actual bookshelves. Here they are. See, I told you I had way too many books. I even had to kind of stack some up right here. These are just random books. I think they're all books that I haven't read yet that didn't fit perfectly into a different category. So these are kind of like the random outliers. Underneath here, I have food books. These are mostly cookbooks. I actually kind of want to move this Dorito Effect one, because I've already read it and it's not a cookbook. So these are kind of like my food reference books. And then here in the middle, these are actually Keo's books, his golf books. Finally, some books that aren't mine. Here are like my other random coffee table books, but our coffee table is too small to have all of these. Here I've got my Spanish books. And then here I have the start of my kids book collection. And these are all my Tintin books from when I was a little kid. They're all really beat up, but they're so well loved, I cannot get rid of them. This is another, Huck Finn, old book that I had. And this side is all like totally kids books. So on this side I have the really like younger kids books, all my favorites from childhood. I know this seems like a lot, but these are actually just like the favorite ones that I've had. And then these are the kind of like older kid books that are my favorite that I've had. I actually haven't read this one, but all the other ones are my favorite ones. This one I just found and looked cool and is a kid's book, so I just kind of threw it in with the other kids' books. The real bookshelf here, we can start at the top. There's my Harry Potter books, there's the Wrinkle in Time series. I want to reread that. I haven't read it since I was a kid. This book just didn't fit anywhere else. And then Keo does have a bookshelf. Keo is my boyfriend, partner of 7.5 years, and these are all the books that he has. Just these books, you guys. All the other books are mine, which is pretty embarrassing or awesome, depending on how you look at it. So here I have mostly my yoga books. I've actually read all of these books until here. And then this is a reference book. Here's the Bhagavad Gita. Working on these two. And then here's my yoga like notebook. And then here are 2 books about eating animals. And I put them with the yoga books because yoga people become vegan or vegetarian. And then this book just didn't fit anywhere else. These are kind of like my yoga self-help books that I haven't read yet that I want to read. And then these are all kind of random books that didn't fit other places. So these are like poetry books, and then 2 travel books, and then 2 food books that didn't fit. Down here on the right are all my favorite education books because I was an education minor in college, so I'm really interested in education. And just those are my favorite ones I don't want to get rid of. And then from here on are books that I've read that I don't want to get rid of that are just kind of like a smattering of random books that I really love that I want to hold on to. Kind of like all genres, I guess. Bottom shelf is kind of the classics, and I tried to put the books that I've read on the bottom and the ones I haven't read yet on the top here, but that's not exactly accurate because I've read some Shakespeare and I haven't read all of the Proust books. Yeah, no, the bottom ones are actually just books that I have and haven't read. And then there's even more books under here. That's where I need to put this Dorito book, because these are books, food books that I've either read. Have I read all these? No, I've read most of these. Haven't read Deep Nutrition yet, but these are like food books that aren't cookbooks. And speaking of which, shelf under the kitchen counter, and surprise, more books. Now do you guys see why I needed to make a whole video about this? So these are more food books that aren't cookbooks, that are just food books. And then this is a binder full of recipes. And I think that's finally all of my books. So let me know what you think. Is this crazy? Is this normal? Do you have even more books than this? Do you think I'm a total psycho? Keo always thinks I have way too many books and I come home with more books, but I've been better about using the library ever since I've been in library school. So yeah, I want to know what you think. Let me know. Tell me if I'm like totally crazy or not, and how many books do you think you have, and I wonder if I counted all these books. How many do you think I have? Leave a guess if you think that you can guess how many books that I have, and maybe if people guess, I will count all of them and we'll pick a winner. And I can like give away books or something, because obviously I have too many. Please like this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.